Hello, dear children. I'm sure all you little children might be helping your parents at home in their little things. You may be helping the elders, like your aunts or uncles or grandparents too. And I'm sure you don't mind doing all these things for them. But what if they ask you to do something when you are enjoying your favorite cartoon show, or when you are playing with your friends, or you are busy with something else, and you are not in a mood really to do something, to do some work? Bit of a problem, isn't it? Well, this exactly is what is happening in the story that we are going to learn today. Our first topic in English, the lesson is go and come. Now let us see what happens in the story to a little boy just like you, and see what happens later on to him and how does he manage to do the work. So let's get started. Our second topic in our Bal Bharati textbook is titled Go and Come. Once there was a little boy who lived in a pretty little cottage. There was a lovely garden around the cottage. Different kinds of plants grew in the garden, and so there was a lot of work to do there. The plants had to be watered every day. They had to be given manure from time to time. They had to be cut and pruned at the right time. The garden needed weeding and cleaning. Everybody in the little boy's family helped to take care of the garden. Now our story is set in a pretty little cottage. Now a cottage is something like this, a small sweet little house. It's not very big, with maybe a garden or a few trees around. You maybe have seen these in Bombay. It is very difficult to find cottages like this, but you may find these in your villages. Yes, of course, the place where you come to our school, Sundarnagar, also has some sweet little cottages around. Now, our little boy is staying in a sweet little cottage like this with a pretty garden, a lovely garden, a pretty garden around the cottage. Now, as you know, plants are growing in the garden, so a lot of work. Gardening is a lot of hard work. If you have a garden, to take care of the garden, to take care of the plants, to see that there is no disease that is affecting the plants, is really a lot of tough job. It's tough work. So this little boy's family, whole family, used to take care of the garden. They used to water the plants. Then there would be those grass or some other plants growing which were really not needed. They are called weeds. Okay, something like those jungly plants which grow in the garden. They have to be pulled out. So that also takes a lot of effort, a lot of hard work. So everybody in the family used to help in the gardening work. Now sometimes the plants would grow oversized, like they would be really growing, so they had to be cut and shaped. They had to be pruned. Okay, and of course sometimes the garden, the soil had to be given some extra something extra had to be mixed in the soil, which helps the plants to grow. It is like a tonic for the plants to grow. It has to be mixed with the soil. That is called manure. So all these jobs in the garden was done by the little boy's family, and everybody helped in this. It is not just one person's job. Everybody in the boy's family helped to take care of the garden. Now see what happens one day. The boy had a very strict uncle who came to stay with them for a few days. The uncle believed in hard work and discipline. One day, he saw that the boy was playing around in the house. "Little boy," said the uncle, "you would be far better at work. Your garden needs weeding sadly. Go now and weed it like a good child." But the little boy did not feel like weeding that day. "I can't do it," he said. "Oh, yes, you can," said the uncle. "Well, I don't want to. Not just now," said the little boy. "But you must," said his uncle. "Don't be naughty, but go at once and do your work. This is an order. Get up and go." Now, he had an uncle who had come over, and this uncle, what kind of a man was this uncle? He was very strict. He was also, he believed in discipline. Discipline is obeying orders. If somebody tells you something, obeying orders or obeying rules is called discipline. So this uncle, he himself was a hard-working man. So he sees that the boy is just wasting his time playing around in the house. The uncle says, what does he tell the boy? "Little boy, go and do some work in the garden." And what work is there in the garden for the boy to do? Yes, the uncle says, go and weed the garden. A lot of plants are growing which are unnecessary. There are many other plants which are growing which is spoiling the beauty of your garden. Now, a garden with weeds is something like this. A lot of jungly plants growing, and wildly they grow, and they spoil the beauty of the garden. Sometimes they also harm the good plants in a garden. So the uncle is saying, go to the garden and pull up all the weeds. Do some weeding work. Your garden is a mess. Go, do it. And does the boy listen or go? No, he doesn't feel like doing it that day. He's not in a mood. He says, "I can't do it. I don't feel like doing it." Now the uncle, as you know, is somebody who believes in discipline. Discipline means if he says something, you have to obey you have to follow the rules. So the uncle says, "Go and do it." "What do you mean you cannot do this? I am ordering you. Go and get the weeding done in your garden. And don't you disobey me. You have to obey me. So don't waste your time playing over here. Get up and go. Do it. When I say it, you better do it." Now the little boy was in a fix. He had a problem. He was enjoying his play, and now the uncle says, "Go and weed the garden." He was a strict man. Now see what happens next. The uncle was himself a hard-working man. Now, the uncle is not the sort who would just order and he would sit back and relax. The uncle himself was a hard-working man. He went away to carry on with his work in another room. But the little boy sat still. He felt that his uncle was being unfair. His chin began to wobble. He had a lump in his throat and his eyes welled up. Now the little boy, again, he doesn't go very easily. He's sitting there still without moving. Okay, and he's feeling very sad. Now, how do you know he's feeling sad? Yes, he had a lump in his throat, something like something is lodged in his throat. His eyes welled up, his eyes filled with tears, and his chin also began to shake, move up and down, wobble. All this happens when you are sad, right? Then he doesn't know what to do. He's thinking what to do. Why is my uncle being so unfair? Why is he being so cruel? Okay, when I don't want to do it, he's forcing me to do it. It's so boring. It's so sad. Now, see what happens next. Just then, his mother walked in. "What's the matter, little boy?" she asked. "Why do you look so unhappy?" "Uncle told me to weed the garden," said the little boy. Now the little boy is saying that I am unhappy because uncle told me to weed the garden. "Oh," said his mother, "what fun that will be. I love to weed, and it is such a fine day. Can I come and help you to weed?" "Why, yes," said the boy. "Come, let's do it now," said his mother. Now the boy's mother changes the game. She comes and says, "Oh, uncle has told you to weed the garden. It's such a beautiful day. Wow, you're so lucky. Even I want to weed the garden. Can I come and help you, please?" And the boy thinks, "Oh, wow, mom also wants to help. She thinks it is something fun to do. And here I was thinking it is so boring." One more thing that changes the boy's mind is that mother doesn't just tell him go and do it like that uncle. She says, "I will also help you. Can I also come along?" This also changes the boy's mind. Many a times it happens with us also. When we are told to do some work which we don't like, all alone, it becomes even more boring. But if somebody is there to share your work, it makes it a little more interesting, more exciting, because somebody is there to share the work. And here mom was telling him it is so nice. It's such a beautiful day outside. I love to eat. The boy thinks, yes, it is really something fun to do. And mom is also going to help me, so we are going to have fun outside in the garden. And that changes his mind. The boy got up readily and went outside with his mother. The two of them weeded the garden beautifully and had a very good time together, working and chatting and laughing. And both mom and son go together and have a good time. First of all, they are doing the work, but it doesn't seem like work. because they are having so much fun. They are talking and laughing, and this usually happens with us also. When somebody is there, we enjoy the work. When we are doing it alone, it seems boring. So that is what happens to the boy. Mom is there, they are chatting and laughing. It's a beautiful day outside. And when they are working, it doesn't feel like work. It feels like fun. They are having fun, and they weeded the garden. The garden is also beautiful once again. So this is what happens when you have a right attitude, when you have a right attitude to work. If you think it is boring, it will become troublesome for you. But if you think it is fun, it is nice, it is exciting, it will become easier. Our attitude makes a job easy or difficult. Our attitude is the way we think. If we think it is fun, it is fun. If we think it is boring, it is boring. So that this shows that we should have the right kind of attitude. We should have the right kind of mindset to do certain things. And then it won't feel like it is some big boring and uninteresting job. Now I want all of you to do something interesting now. Now don't think it is boring, it is interesting. Read the story. Read the story many times over. Practice makes a man perfect. It will make you perfect. So you read, and it will make you perfect. So happy reading and have a nice day. Thank you so much.